Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 4th of March. So let's start off looking at the news risk we've got coming out today. Well, the good news is there is not much. We do have OPEC meetings. There is this expectation with the OPEC meetings that because of the price of oil, that producers may want to be pumping some more. That in itself, with the likes that I was reading that China has pretty much stocked up, taken advantage of the lower prices through most of last year, and it's stocking up quite well. So it could become this point where we'll see, and in fact I'm going to start with oil today, there we go, that we'll see a bit more of a retracement. However, at the moment things are all looking bright and shiny on the price action, and we can only be led by the price action. As I've said for quite a time, I'm looking to get into a bit of a short on oil because I don't think it's got the legs to move a lot further, but I'm waiting until it sets its stall out, and it may be a sort of a break of about this 59 area, somewhere in this region, the break of these lows that triggers me into that sort of into a short. But for now it's still pushing up, so I'll stand clear of it. But that's certainly the first thing of the day. Just watching OPEC meetings today, OPEC plus meetings. Aside of that, we've just got Fed Chair Powell speaking. It's at a Q&A session, so he will be asked questions. He could say something out of turn. It's very unlikely he's going to move from their current stance, and he'll probably keep to the party line that they've been continually sticking to. So that's it for today in terms of significant news. There's probably other little offshoots of news out there, but nothing that I expect to move these markets too much. So that leaves us with let's have a look at the technicals of these markets. I've just started. Let's just push back on this euro dollar here, and well, euro yesterday was setting up quite nicely. It did run into its trend line, as I mentioned in the morning. Actually, it did that pretty much, and then didn't do too much at all. And it sort of consolidated. It's sitting in a consolidated pattern at this stage. It looked like it might have gone off yesterday morning after it did what it did, but just that was it. And it's as I say, just pulled back a little bit, then consolidated for quite some time. Consolidating where it is at the moment. It looking at it, has got its daily pivot above, which may provide us a bit of a chart. Well, I said may provide us with nothing actually, but may be a point of resistance if we see it come up to the underneath that. It could just slide off this morning and run down towards the S1. Either way, at the moment, the shape of it, it just looks to me like it's a short. But as I said, I just need to watch this, see if we can get that. I mean, the daily pivot gets hit. I'm quite happy. I'm waiting for that, and then looking for a break to the downside. At the moment, to me, it looks, as I said, on the short side of things, particularly what you're seeing in terms of this bigger pattern. So it'll probably turn around and suddenly start looking quite bullish, but as I said, it looks a bit shortish at the moment. The pound is really quite range bound. Yesterday's budget hasn't made any difference whatsoever to the state of the pound here. The pound dollar, it's consolidating. If anything, you look on the big picture, it's still in its main trend up there. On this shorter time frame, well, it's just consolidating. And you come down to the hourlies, and you see what a mess it was yesterday. Really, no significant moves there. In fact, even now it looks, well, it's erring more towards, I think, to the downside at this stage. But again, can come in 8 o'clock, just after 8 o'clock. We'll see what happens if we get any bounces. Maybe it'll take off, but it's stifled here at the moment. Dollar yen. Yen's continued the shove, which pretty much expected. It is running into some sort of resistance now. It's monthly wise. Let's just come back here. Monthly pivot, the R1 and the 500 is just above us. There might provide resistance. If you come out, sorry, 4-hourly chart here. Let's just turn that to a weekly chart. There we go. And you're just short of that weekly 100. So there you go. That's the weekly 100. The daily 500. Probably at the same sort of level-ish. That may provide a bit of resistance, but it's had a decent old run so far. Aside of that, really coming down the 60-minute time frame, it doesn't look like there's much change on in front of us here. It looks okay. It's double topping. It's maybe already had a bit of a reaction, but it does look like it will just maybe just plod onwards, and it is plodding. That's just all it's doing. Aussie dollar, if you come down the time frame, it looks like it's climbing the steps at the moment, slowly, surely, but it's stalling around here. I was looking, there's a lot of options expiring around the 78 area, which may just stifle price today as traders load in and avoid those options sort of being expiring with any value. So it may just be a bit of a stifled day there. Canadian dollar, if you're looking for the Aussie dollar and trying to trade it in it may be the Aussie yen may have a bit better movement, but that's more likely because the yen's weakening around the globe as opposed to the Aussie particularly getting any strength. So there is a choker on that Aussie. However, where you look at it, Canadian dollar is just consolidated here, really chopping around, but putting a bit of a curve in. You just sort of see it putting a bit of a curve in. Maybe again we'll see a continuation to this upside here. It's broken. I was looking at it late yesterday evening. It's broken its trend line there. Look, it come back, retested the trend line just a little bit through it, but we'll see how that runs. But does now look like it's back online for the continuation at this stage. Now all that could change quite quickly post 8 o'clock, but we often see it, say one thing and then all of a sudden they end up doing something else. Looking at the New Zealand dollar here, again consolidated. This still does look the weaker pair between the between the Aussie and the New Zealand dollar pairs. This just looks a bit weaker, and if we start seeing them roll over, this might be the one that goes the quickest and drops the quickest. Okay, not much else there on currencies. I've looked through all the majors there, and there's nothing to be chasing through. S&Ps here then, from a daily picture yesterday didn't really manage to do too much. It's ended up rolling over and looking soft. I noticed somewhere there's mention of the yields falling this morning, which, well, we'll see if that makes any difference here. But at the moment, the S&Ps just look like they're bearing under the strain of it all, waiting for Biden to get this fiscal stimulus through. Still not happening, and it's just the delays, and it's just sort of taking its toll here, and it's looking soft. We may see this, I mean, if you're looking for the short side in the near term, maybe if it does get up to this daily pivot, the 21 sort of area, that might just switch it, be the point of resistance, looking on the short side. But really struggling to do too much at the moment, which is not a surprise. It's had such a long period of running up there, consolidation. It's not sold off massively, so there we are. Which has sold off massively is gold. It's still selling, it's still coming back, sitting near at $1,700 yesterday, just over $1,700, looking a little bit more softer, lower highs, lower lows, as I said earlier. Well, that had already come through yesterday, and it's not looking particularly great one way or the other at the moment. It's just chopping around. So nothing there on gold apart from nothing new. It's all just continue. If you can sell into some of these little retracements, well, may give you some opportunity there. I've already covered oil at the top of the page, so that's pretty much it. Bitcoin. Let's just a quick look at Bitcoin, a big picture of Bitcoin. Let's come out to the dailies on this, and well, it's making a slow old move of this. It did push up again yesterday, but giving back so far this morning. So it really is. It's a slow old trudge, but it's more. If you put a regression line through this, it's probably a bit more centered, and for those that are really in the long-term hold, I'm sure, I know it's nice to see it moving up really quickly there. But seeing it moving up on a more steady basis gives it more chance of holding on to its gains, in my book anyway. Right, that's pretty much it for me. I wish you a great day, and I'll catch you later on. Bye for now. So that's that done. Okay, let's